What's going on, guys? Shady Mike Gaming. We're going to switch it up a little bit today and talk some NBA basketball. And breaking news, Cleveland Cavaliers firing head coach David Blatt, promoting assistant coach Tyronn Lue up to head coach. If you guys don't remember Tyronn Lue, he's the guy Allen Iverson murdered in the 2001 NBA Finals, stepping over him, doing things like that. That's the last time we've really seen Tyronn Lue, or was it? What a surprise for me. When you take a look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, number one seed in the East, they had just come off of that devastating loss to Golden State. I know they had planned on competing in that game, seeing where they were from this year, from last year to this year, and seeing, I guess, that what looks to be a drop off. You know, all the Cleveland Cavalier fans, more so the LeBron James fans, were saying, hey, if we had Kevin Love, if we had a healthy Kyrie Irving, things would have been different. And, well, we saw healthy Cavs versus healthy Warriors, and it was a 34-point devastation, a 34-point destruction, a 34-point beatdown. The Cleveland Cavaliers looked like they didn't belong on the court with Steph Curry. The Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James looked like he didn't belong on the court with Steph Curry. He looked, it didn't look like, the top player versus the second best player. It looked like Steph Curry, the top player, versus the 10th best player. LeBron James only logging 16 points in that game. So it still came to a surprise for me. You talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Listen, they're 30-11. They are still the number one seed in the East. There has to be more to this situation. Obviously, the first news story that comes out is, hey, LeBron James had no knowledge of this move. He found out just like everybody else. I personally am insulted by that. Why are you lying to me? Why are you lying to my face? I think it's very obvious LeBron James had a hand in that decision. I think it was very clear LeBron James had a good relationship with Tyronn Lue. The Cleveland Cavaliers 2 years ago had actually made Tyronn Lue the highest paid assistant coach in the history of the NBA. So we already knew they had big plans for Tyronn Lue, and plenty of people had said that he would take over before this or during the offseason, this past offseason. So it's not a surprise that it happened, but it's a surprise when it happened. I mean, yes, you lost that game to Golden State, but you won the two games after it in pretty convincing fashion. It looked like they were starting to get things back on track. Kevin Love had some interesting comments to say earlier in the week. It sounded like he was taking a shot at LeBron James when he said that, the turnaround of the team has to start with, quote, our leader over there, LeBron James. So, not going to say that LeBron, Kevin Love was blaming LeBron or saying that it's on him, but I think it's a logic thing. It's like, hey, when this team wins, when this team plays well, it's all LeBron James. It's all LeBron James. When this team loses, when this team is not successful, it's LeBron James doesn't have any help. Kevin Love wasn't playing defense. Kyrie Irving doesn't pass the ball. So I think it's time to be accountable. It's either all on LeBron or it's all not on LeBron. And I think we know in this league that guys need a decent supporting cast. Guys need a decent team. And LeBron James, when he made the decision to leave Miami, a decision to leave a Dwayne Wade that doesn't seem to be slowing down, to leave a Chris Bosh who's playing good basketball, for two younger yet equally injury-prone stars in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, these are the types of struggles that you are going to face in a season. My pick to win the title is still the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've said I felt like they were going to come back and beat the Golden State Warriors in the finals and come back and get redemption. I said that at the very end of last year. I felt like LeBron would be back with a healthy team. Now, I don't know. No one foresaw Steph Curry, the arrival of Steph Curry. No one thought he could be so much better this year than he was last year. And you have to start asking the question, can anyone but the Spurs compete with Golden State? I've already said it. I'm on the record. The NBA championship this year is the Western Conference Finals. Okay, to me, that's going to be the two best teams playing in the NBA. The NBA Finals, of course, that's what counts. That's what everyone's going to remember. But to me, the most important series of this year is going to be the 7-game series. That is the Western Conference Finals, and hopefully, we can see Spurs versus Golden State Warriors. I'm sorry, I don't like to rip on people's legacies. I'm not going to sit here and rip LeBron James. I respect everything that he's done, but you have people that give him credit for how many times he's been to the finals in a row or this, that, and the other. Look at the East. I'm looking at the standings right now. Number 2, the Toronto Raptors. Is Kyle Lowry, 20 points a game, going to go up to Cleveland and win 2 games? Are the Raptors going to win 4 games in a 7-game series? The Atlanta Hawks got swept last year, and they're worse this year than they were last year. The Chicago Bulls, they're worse this year than they were last year. Matter of fact, the Chicago Bulls were the initial team that played against the Cavs when they were injured, and they still lost. Next, you have the Pacers. Who knows what Paul George can do in the playoffs, but he can't do it alone. Detroit Pistons are an up-and-coming team, but are they ready to take that step? They're technically only 2 games out of being out of the playoffs. Then you have the Heat, which, can they stay healthy? It looks like no for right now. And then you have the Boston Celtics coming in at the 8th spot of the East. That's a joke. I'm sorry, LeBron James could go on the court alone and get to the finals and win 4 games versus these teams in a series. So no sympathy there from LeBron James. He's got to walk in the park to the finals. So we'll see how the team responds to a Tyronn Lue, who is now the head coach, who the team has already said, it's been said by many reporters that, hey, the players were already going to him for everything anyway. He was already the head guy. So now that he has the official title, let's see how the Cavs progress. Let's see how they finish the year. They're 30-11 now. I thought they were pretty good. We'll see how they progress. But we'll keep an eye out on this situation in Cleveland. Take care, guys.